Welcome back.
Welcome back, nerds.
So yeah, that was fun.
That was good fun.
Spent a bit of time looking over puzzles and shit.
Lots of stuff to think about, I think.
Shout out to Baps for being the best puzzle boy.
It's true, Baps best boy.
Yeah, I mentioned it last episode, but I think of all of our friends, he is the one person who least surprised me as being the out-of-the-box puzzle thinker.
The smart one, you mean? Yeah, definitely.
He is a very abstract thinker.
I also totally stole my Bernabé voice from him. I just want to let you know right now. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Oh, absolutely.
But I totally stole that voice from him. I don't know what character it was he was playing, but...
It was
sexy.
Character? Yeah.
Sexy, yeah. That's right! He went a character named Sexy! It was amazing! He was this, like, Italian gangster or something. It was
an Italian actor who had a side job as a frat
because he was method acting. Yeah, he was method acting as a frat gangster. Oh my god! Go play Blades, guys. You too.
Shout out to John Harper.
John Harper, best boy. All right. Anyway,
I think that's the first time we've not avoided explicitly mentioning a campaign that we play in.
Look. TRPGs are great, and they're part of the reason why I love Umineko so much.
Yeah, so. I mean, seeing as we've brought it up now, it's also an interesting time to, I guess, talk about the whole implication of, like, the Game Master Game Board thing in relation to, like, you know, tabletop games, and how...
Man, I mean, I feel like you know most of, like, my feelings. I also don't want to, like, lead you any direction with like, I have post-EP8 feelings about TRPGs and how they relate to Umineko, but, like, your theory obviously involves a lot of, like, extra personalities and playing characters, and, like, in the last episode we talked about the relationship between the Game Master and the players, and, like, all this sort of stuff. And I think that seeing Battler being the Game Master now, it'll be interesting to see how he runs the game and how he treats the players. Because right now... he's in the classic Game Master situation of playing with someone he hates, right? Like, he is the Dungeon Master, the Game Master, and Erika is the one who is role-playing or whatever as the detective. And getting to see how that relationship works, because as we've kind of covered, like, for this relationship to work, there needs to be love. Erika does not have love.
And then there's also the interesting implication of the, like, logic error we brought up earlier, and the idea that he's a first-time game master and is bound to make a mistake somewhere.
He's bound to make a mistake somewhere. And when you're playing TRPGs and the game master makes a mistake, you apologize, everyone, and everyone just either goes with it or goes back. Everyone is chill. No one is an asshole about it.
At least, like, if you're friends with them.
Yeah, if you're friends with them. If you have love.
That's the problem.
Have love. Yeah. Definitely. We'll have to see how that pans out.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is we didn't really have a conversation about it, but I just sent you a few odd messages through the week talking about how, like, if we are taking all of these to be written down stories, the interesting implication there is, like, what actually happened, and, like, you know, if writing stories down and telling stories is, like, you know, an escapism or whatever.
Yes.
How much of this actually applies to, like, the true quotations Rekenjima?
An excellent question.
Because, like, I did make the point that, like, you know, if episode 1 and 2 is, like, this very idealized version that the culprit wrote down, and episodes 3 and 4 is this very, you know, reconstructed, more personable character.
I was going to say, how do you think the character that... Because as you said, if Battler is the narrator here and he's writing himself, and if Seo is writing these personalities you think are tied to them, Shannon, Cannon, and Beatrice, what is this character's perception of themselves through writing those stories?
It's one thing that I was really thinking a lot about in the past week, is that, like, on the one hand, I'm very intrigued by the idea that, in truth, the culprit that we have in these mysteries isn't actually, like, the real culprit.
Yeah.
Almost as though, like, these stories were, like, you know, either just stories that they were going to show to Battler and be like, hey, cool, look at these sick mysteries that I made. Try solve them. Or, like, if it was, like, you know...
Yeah, I mean, what do we actually know? Like, outside of these stories, as you've said, like, search for meaning in the magic. One could argue, of course, that if we're taking a one Rekenjima theory, which I think you're trying to, then most of these, if not all of these stories, are unreliable, obviously.
Yeah.
So if we don't trust these, if we say these are unreliable, we don't look at them, and we just look at the facts that we have from the future scenes.
Yeah.
there was an accident on Rikenjima. You think is an explosion of some kind that like wiped out all evidence. What do we actually know about the events that took place on the island?
Basically fucking nothing.
Basically nothing. And I feel like that's a very good point to kind of linger on.
Yeah, like there are definitely a whole bunch of holes in claiming that the culprit in the stories wasn't actually the culprit, because we have like, you know, the money that was set aside for like the people that were on the island, like descendants or whatever, that we saw in episode 4.
Yep.
And then there's also like, you know, the whole question of like, I kind of worded that like, you know, whilst to me it's an appealing idea that the culprit actually wasn't, you know, going to do all of this. These were just stories that they were writing. It also, to an extent, would massively devalue the suffering that we're told the culprit is going through to say that they didn't actually, like, try fight back in some way.
Approach it with love. That's straight up the way you gotta look at these stories. Because, like, we could take the perspective that none of this happened, or none of this is real, or all of this is made up.
It's not that none of this is real. It's just that the, like, you know, claiming that the culprit that we're shown isn't the culprit in truth. Like, I don't think it's the case. It's just like an idea that's kind of been tugging at the back of my head.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of problems with it, and I don't think it's the case, but it's also just something very interesting to consider that, like, you know, maybe all of this was with love and there was no fucking psychopathic tendencies in how any of these were written down. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that point to that not being the case. Like, as I said, the money, and also the fact that, like, they didn't come back.
Yeah, like something happened on this island that was not good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely think it's a good thing to think about, and I can't say a whole lot because I want to get to the end of EP8 so badly, but like I was definitely thinking some similar thoughts to you at this point in the story. The perspective, the thing that I hoped for so badly was that we would get zero answers. That was straight up what I wanted the ending to be. At this point in the story, I was like, if we just do not get anything that's reliable, and that's partly why I find the everything in the stories is part of the message bottles or the forgeries or whatever. I find that to be such an interesting perspective, because it means that we literally can take none of this as truth, but we can try and find it, obviously.
It is a very strange concept.
I know, this is Umineko, my dude.
Like, we've definitely discussed it. I don't know how much on recording, but there's definitely an extent where, like, as an author, it's a lot more satisfying to leave your tales hanging than it is to write an answer to them. Because it's like, I think, let's say, like, one of the things that I've been watching recently and, like, trying to get on top of, you know, murder mysteries and locked rooms and shit, you know, I, like, went through a whole bunch of the various Poirot novels and TV shows.
Cool.
And there was the whole thing where, like, David Suchet, who played Poirot for, like, 30 years, he asked to record Poirot's, like, death at the beginning of the last season, so that he wouldn't have to have his final scene that he ever recorded as Poirot be him dying.
Aww.
So that he could, like, leave the character alive.
It's so sweet.
And I feel like it's almost like a similar perspective to an author, where it's like you kind of don't want to see what happens to your characters because it's more satisfying to think that, you know, there's still hope that something could have happened.
Yeah.
But then also, a lot of times that's dissatisfying as a reader.
Yeah, definitely.
Because as a reader, you know, as much as you can be creative and hypothesize about what things happened, if the author didn't write it, there's also this problem where you kind of know that there's not an answer.
But as we discussed in the previous episode about all the stuff about Knox, how like Knox's rules are supposed to give you hope that you can solve a mystery, and in that same way, like if the reader, I'm trying to remember the exact quote, but like Knox is like, if the reader approaches the story without believing that they can solve the mystery, then why is the writer writing? And if the writer doesn't write a mystery, then the reader will never show up, all that sort of thing.
I mean, there's also the whole problem where we're talking about the scope of the story, where, like, I think that the mysteries in each episode are definitely solvable, but does that necessarily mean that the meta-narrative is, like, solvable?
It's a fantastic question.
Like, I'm certainly trying, because it's fun, but I'm fully expecting that we're going to get to the end and I'm not going to be told.
It's possible. I don't know.
If anything, the kind of thing that I'm starting to notice is that a lot of this is starting to seem a lot more like a cautionary tale. Like a lot of the mistakes that are made in previous episodes, like Kinzo, you know, trapping his Beatrice in 1967 in a hidden mansion behind a massive fence and hiding it from the world.
I wouldn't put it past Kinzo.
Right? Is like very much paralleled here, and it's almost like, hey, look at these mistakes being repeated.
Definitely a theme. Repeated mistakes is definitely a thing. Cycle of violence. Don't do that stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. And I know that some people are concerned that the novel might get too big for its britches. Do you share these concerns?
Shout out to Seraphitic!
Seraphitic, best boy.
No.
Love you. No?
I think it's already gotten too big for its boots, but it's putting on better shoes now.
Fair enough.
Like, there's certainly some things where it's like, you know, pointing to some glorious truth and without love it cannot be seen and whatever. But at the same...
whatever.
I mean, I'm trying to just keep myself relatively concise.
It's okay.
But there's also this whole scope where, even though there are all of these leftover questions and a whole bunch of the solutions that Battler made at the end of episode 4 for all of the locker rooms, Land was like, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
he's a giant nerd.
I don't know. Listen, I won't be surprised if we have a character come into the story and like give quizzical one-word responses to all of the locker rooms.
Right.
And we're left to be like, but what?
That'd be pretty great. Alright, let's get going. It's good talk. Let's get into this shit.
Back then I was, I guess I still am a bit of a klutz. I always forgot where I'd put things or think I'd locked something up when I'd actually forgotten. I caused a lot of trouble.
I remember how Aunt Natsa used to get mad at you all the time.
No, but eventually Shannon managed to overcome all that forgetfulness. And how'd you do that?
It wasn't anything big, but I got into the habit of writing things down. I'd write down wherever I put something important. For things that happen often, I made a checklist and always made sure to check it.
So, did you see Beatrice or didn't you?
I didn't see her directly, but well, some very strange things did happen. I put on a dress in the middle of the night. Suddenly there she was in the middle of the mansion.
Wow.
Right where I was standing.
Oh my goodness. Alright, let's go.
She was talking about a certain summer night. Shannon had been doing the nightly rounds. From her perspective, it was a ghost story. From the witch's perspective, it was just the story of a little summer night's prank.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for this scene. Oh. Little sister, do you understand the anti-magic toxin that humans possess? No. What is it, Onesama? Well, the time of witches has long since passed. Those foul humans who claim to rule over everything can to deny our existence and possess a powerful toxin. Is that toxin harmful to us? It is extremely dangerous.
Fucking teeth, I can't get over this.
He's got little lolly fangs. So cute. If we were exposed to it, our forms would probably evaporate in an instant. However, one thing we do have in our favor is the fact that our existence is still extremely weak. Because of that, the toxin does not affect us greatly. At worst, it can only transform us into a mist for a time. However, we'd rather avoid it if we can, right? Correct. Yes, I see that you are indeed me. You catch on quickly.
The older sister appeared to be haughty at first, but perhaps because she was so happy to have met her double and little sister, she was more than willing to teach her anything she wanted to know. The first thing she taught was that they were witches, a different type of being than humans. Beato had thought that her inability to use magic meant she wasn't a witch, but apparently she was still a witch nonetheless. And she learned that witches like her were bound by various limitations, unlike humans. The greatest of those restrictions was the anti-magic toxin possessed by humans.
Humans famously known for their lack of limitations. So, in other words, we mustn't enter a human's field of vision. Correct. You can think of it as though human eyes radiate the toxin. If they see you, it is the same as your body being burnt. And though the effect is weaker, being heard or sensed can also result in contact with the toxin. So, even just getting close to humans is dangerous to us. Wasn't Father a human? Why am I not burnt by Father's toxin? If we stock up magical power and have it acknowledged by humans, that toxin can be reduced drastically. In other words, by having our existence acknowledged by humans, we can make them lose their toxin, making it possible for us to appear before them once more. I see. Simply put, as we are now, we can only exist when humans aren't around. We are still very lacking in magical power, which makes us inferior to even a stray cat hiding from humans in the shadows.
Main goal of the older sister was to gain a large supply of magical power and be revived as a great witch strong enough to have no fear of the anti-magic toxin. For that purpose, she wandered around the mansion night after night, striving to regain her magical power and reduce the anti-magic power of the humans. The powerful previous Beatrice, whom she had read about in Featherin's library, had appeared openly in front of humans and had even toyed with them at will. According to her big sister, such a level of power was most impressive.
To think that a witch could appear openly before humans and use magic at will. A witch like that would be so great that even I can hardly imagine it. Is that what we will eventually become? Yes, she was a witch, like a witch from a picture book, appearing openly before the humans at the mansion, and summoning magic and underlings at will. How inspiring. If that is our future, it means that all of our hard work will have been worth the effort. That's right. Anyway, Onesama, how is that goal connected to going around unlocking windows like this?
It was the middle of the night. They were following behind servants who were checking the locks on the doors and windows. And undoing these locks after the servants thought they'd been set. Felt more like a child's prank than the work of a witch.
This is the path that leads to becoming a great witch. All journeys begin with a single step.
So dumb.
It's great. To those who cannot understand, that first step may look quite foolish from time to time. However, it is still a momentous first step.
With pride, as though making the first step for mankind on the surface of the moon, the older sister undid the lock on the window with a click.
Do you not understand, little sister? Can you not see why a little thing like this is momentous? No, Onesama. I don't really understand.
The older sister closed her eyes lightly, smiled, and opened the unlocked window with a crack. Did I say with a crack, or did you say, yeah, I said with.
A crack, that's fine.
Yeah. Cool outside air flowed in, making the curtains flutter.
Let us put in the toxin-filled words of a human. We are not supposed to exist on this island. I shall go further. Right now, there is no one in this corridor. And yet the lock has been undone, and the window has opened. Can you see how great a miracle, a work of magic, a proof of our existence this is? Even you should understand the coolness of this breeze. I do understand. It's nice and cool. The coolness, the softness of the breeze, and the feel of the fluttering curtain touching your hair. All of these things show that we are truly here. So, by unlocking the window like this, we can leave behind proof that we really did exist. And that is why I unlocked it.
Of course, it wasn't just small pranks like opening a window. She could also smash windows and vases or leave behind strange fires and mysterious scribbles. In fact, one time she actually did play a large-scale prank in the kitchen, piling up the kitchenware in an eerie manner and leaving behind a bizarre scribble which scared the servants considerably.
Poor Kumasawa.
It was a complete success. She'd really managed to scare the servants and had succeeded in making them acknowledge the existence of magic, weakening the anti-magic toxin. However, she usually chose to make her presence known by unlocking windows. The act of unlocking symbolized her release from the limitations imposed by the human's toxin.
One day, we will become a single witch and rule over all of Genjima. When that time comes, we will gain complete freedom and will be capable of stretching our wings as we please.
I love they're like, look, magic exists, we can do all of these things, as they like physically walk around and unlock windows. It's like
with their hands.
The least magical thing.
I know. We won't have to be afraid of anyone's gaze anymore. We'll be able to fly wherever we wish, disappear wherever we want, laugh however we like, prank however we like, talk with anyone we want to. Humans might ask things from us from time to time. They might fight with us or play with us too. What wonderful things for us frail creatures who cannot appear before anyone to look forward to. Right now, they're little more than pranks. However, as they pile up, proof that we exist will begin to gather. The servants already call me the witch, Beatrice, master of the night, and are beginning to believe in me bit by bit. The more they believe, the more those humans will lose their anti-magic toxin. I see. So, this means that Father has no anti-magic toxin. And that's because he truly believes in the existence of the witch I am, without any doubts. I finally realized that. Though I thought him to be cold, Father does possess a kindness that can't be seen. I'd like to become a great witch and appear in front of everyone soon. Indeed. Eventually we'll be able to appear openly in front of anyone. By doing that repeatedly, we shall make people believe in us even more, and eventually we shall display even our magic for all to see. At that time, we shall descend upon Rikendra as the great witch you told me of! She's such a mastermind. I love her. The logic of the witch side is quite interesting. It keeps me entertained.
Does sound credible in a way. When humans are frightened to hear they've entered a ghost hotspot, they're likely to start yelling ghost, ghost at the drop of a hat.
That's right. At a fundamental level, all phenomena are neutral, indifferent, and dull. If you want them to be viewed in a certain way, you must first create a suitable environment.
If a person has charisma, people will interpret what they do in a positive way even when they screw up. I see. I guess in that sense, Beato's small efforts aren't misguided.
If it was just the mansion's locks being undone, everything could be resolved by saying that someone forgot to lock up or that it was some kind of prank. However, the rumors of a witch wandering around the mansion night after night slowly began to take shape as the existence of the witch.
An environment was established so that if anything strange happened in the mansion at night, it would all be viewed as the work of the witch. I get it. If you follow that reasoning to an extreme, then what you get is no different from a witch existing in the mansion at night.
Now, Ben, remind me, I swear we were told, but what is the, like, horns thing?
The horns... shit. Have we been told? I assume we have. It's some... let's go to our tips page. I'm sure it'll be on our tips page. I know what they do. I just want to double check.
Yeah,
yep, there it is. It's a memory aid device. She's so old. She'd be done. She lost her horns.
I feel like I visually recognize something like that from somewhere, but I have no idea what it is.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think there's been anything in the story
The
that's
other
been
interesting
like...
thing that I find is, like, in the new images, it's, like, very much, like, you know, more horn shape.
Yeah,
like,
I mean...
Whereas in the original, it kind of has this, like semi-triangular appearance.
Like, they look like horns, but it's actually, like, a circular thing that floats around her head.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty awkward if it, like, spun around, so it's facing the wrong way.
It is, yeah. I don't know, I just feel like I visually have seen that, like, style of thing before, but I don't remember from what.
I don't know, maybe. I don't think there's been anything like it in the story.
It's definitely not in this.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to remember if it's like a reference to something.
Satan. Demon horns. Are we gonna make a heavy metal band?
Yeah, let's just chuck a picture of Dave Grohl as Satan on screen.
I don't know if that's relevant at all.
That's right, it's probably about as complex as the riffs from the movie that I'm thinking of.
Wonderful. Alright, this is you.
I'm having a dig here at Tenacious D.
I don't know. Look, Tenacious D is beautiful. I have no problem.
After the Beatos finished their mischief of unlocking and opening the window, they enjoyed the coolness of the wind and the brightness of the moon, and then became gold butterflies and disappeared into the darkness.
Oh, how sweet.
I feel like that might have been Angie, but... whatever, I'll keep going. There's no way of knowing whether the window they'd opened had actually been opened by them. The servants might have forgotten to lock up, or one of the family might have opened it after the servants had locked up and forgotten to shut it again, or maybe someone had played a prank. In the same way that none of those possibilities could be denied, it was also impossible to deny the possibility that a witch really had opened a window to enjoy the night breeze.
With their hands.
With their hands.
Of course.
I'm pretty sure it was Angie.
That's fine.
A result without an observer, half a point, it can possess an endless number of ways in which it might have occurred. Humans who can't grasp anything more than a single possibility are unable to imagine anything.
However, people who believe in the possibility of a witch can imagine that it was a witch's prank. When that happens, the scene of the Beatrice's prank that we have just seen is etched into the fragment as a fact.
It's one of the foundations of magic. Embellishing the process. With just a little magic, even a mass-produced stuffed animal can be reborn as a wonderful, unique stuffed animal filled with a mother's love. If you doubt it, it'll be burned by the anti-magic toxin.
I feel like this is the, like, You dumb motherfuckers, it was Sakataro from episode 4 when Angie,
Maybe.
like...
It's definitely a reference to that scenario.
But, like, we never
I
actually
would, of
got...
course, redirect you to the red truth that it was created by Rosa's hand, but...
My interpretation is that, like, the identity Sakataro was created by Rosa.
Maybe.
Because, like... It's, like, enough of a hole that I'm willing to poke through it.
Sure.
Because the other thing is that those scenes are, like, at least to Angie, directly adjacent. It's like, sees the thing in the store, rocks up in the Golden Land, and is like, hey, Sakataro's back! I don't know.
I think that... I don't know why Rosa would tell Maria that this is a one-of-a-kind toy that, you know, she didn't make herself. That sort of thing. I don't know.
I mean, because Rosa constantly lied to Maria all the time forever?
It's true. She's not a good mom. Despite the mean best mom, she isn't the best mom.
Also, I find it interesting that Featherin is, like, all the way to the end of the screen, but Angie has, like, 1 pixel that's just cut off there right now.
What? What are you talking? Oh yeah, you're totally right. Her sprite needs to be down by just a little tiny bit. Yeah, her arm is missing. Oh no.
Yeah. Did I finish reading that page? I don't
know.
remember.
You might not have.
Anyway, if you down it, it'll be burned by the anti-magic toxin. If you believe that magic will become the truth. Who's this?
It's be Angie.
Not all magic is bad. Marione-chan was right. Good magic exists too.
It may be necessary for a child of man, to possess the power to repel evil magic. However, refusing to burn away and defile love-filled magic is part of how love in the human world works.
Well, good magic is the only kind I can forgive. For all other kinds, the best remedy is to deny them and burn them away.
A typical answer for a child of man.
Getting back to the point,
Child of man.
knowing this much, I guess this means that the ghost Beatrice who is called the ruler of Rakenjima's night doesn't really exist. It's nothing more than a general term for any inexplicable occurrences that take place in the mansion after dark. In other words, Beatrice isn't the name of a person, it's the name of a phenomenon. If anything bizarre happens, it'll all become the work of the Golden Witch. That environment in which a witch could exist is what Beatrice is. It keeps building on itself until we reach 1986. This is the veil that the true culprit is hiding behind. And the person hiding behind it is without a doubt a human.
Perhaps that holds true at this point in the witch's tale of the past. However, I doubt you can use that argument alone to fight all the way through 1986, don't you? Feathering with the subtle dig. Alright.
Subtle?
It's not so subtle. Ridiculous. Wasn't that obviously because someone forgot to look up?
Well, you may say that, but this isn't just something that happened once or twice.
In other words, you're a klutz, a fool, and a moron of a servant who forgot to check not just once or twice, but many times over. Shannon isn't the only one. That same window was always opened, even when other servants did the rounds.
Yeah, Mom even asked me if I'd ever let the window open in the hall at night. Had absolutely nothing to do with it, but she still got pissed. Shish.
I'm sure Beatrice wanted to gaze at the moon. Ooh.
It's a bit creepy to have that happen over and over at the same window. That time when the kitchenware was piled up in the kitchen with creepy magic circle scribbled there sounds even more freaky.
Yes. They said it was an eerie magic circle drawn with something like blood. Ever since then, people have been scared to patrol the kitchen.
About the case of the eerie magic circle in the kitchen, who witnessed that?
Well, it wasn't me. I think I heard about it from a servant kid who quit. I wasn't on duty that day.
So, it's basically like this. Just like those exaggerated stories you hear about haunted locations all over the world, you servants like to have a little fun telling ghost stories around the nighttime mansion, right? You talk as though that witch exists and infect others with that belief. Wow, infect? That is aggressive.
Very specific.
That is aggressive.
So all these eerie things that are supposedly done by Beatrice are baseless rumors, which are either the result of coincidence and accident or something that someone fabricated for fun. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly. Of course, there's no way Beatrice exists. Ooh, Beatrice exists. I'm glad you understand so well about the sun.
Fuck you, Maria.
There's probably some person by that name, or else multiple persons of a fixed or unfixed number who do things and attribute to that name. However, this delusion of a golden witch Beatrice that we're all thinking of is completely impossible. Ew! 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 Beatrice exists! I've met her! Ooh, could you tell me about that in detail? You met Beatrice? And did she show you her magic or something? Ooh! I see her all the time! Every time I come to Rakanjima! And she always shows me fun magic! Oh god.
Denying the existence of the witch would always have the immediate effect of infuriating Maria. However, Erika, who was a sociopath,
Yep. Just don't even read that bit.
plunged into it head on.
Yeah, thank you.
But no matter how Maria tried to sell the idea of Beatrice's existence, she stood no chance of defeating the ruthlessly sociopathic Erika in an argument. George and Jessica hardly tried to calm Maria down, but there could be no quelling her anger at this point.
Good! So, she showed you her magic. Could you explain in detail what kind of magic? She would always use magic to give me candy as a present. Beardo can create candy with magic. She just took it out of her pocket, didn't she? No, she didn't! It was magic! It was incredible. Tons of candies poured out of an empty cup.
Wow, that's some awesome magic.
Yeah, that's right. That really would be magic. Yeah, it was magic. It really was empty. I checked inside it myself. Huh? What do you mean you checked inside it?
Give it a rest, Erika-san. She's just a kid.
Come to think of it, Erika-sama, would you like some more
No, thank you. I'm having a seriously intellectual discussion over here. You outsiders can stay out of this.
She's just getting worse, it's amazing.
You'll have to tell me more detail, Maria-san. What do you mean when you say that you checked inside it? Fortunately, we have right here with us a teacup that's just been overturned and emptied.
Fuck!
Wow! Come on, be my guest and reenact what happened then, okay? Let's see if you would. Let's see it. Jesus. She was... Have some tea! Pours out, slams. Oh my god.
After holding the cup of black tea, which she had just overturned and was still dripping upside down over the table, Erika slammed it down hard and slid it over to Maria. Erika's eyes glowed repulsively, like those of a snake about to snap up a frog. Those eyes were ice cold and had the madness in them that made one want to avert their gaze. On the other hand, Maria was glaring furiously, her whole body shaking uncontrollably in the greatest expression of anger that a human can manage. The look on her face was frightening, not at all what you'd expect from a 9-year-old girl.
Stop it, both of you.
Ew! Okay, Beatrice took the empty cup, and then she did this. She put it upside down on the table. Yeah, and then what? Did she lift it up right away and candies flowed out? Incredible! That really would be magic, right? It would be!
Battler and the others tried to get between the two and calm them down, but it was no use. Erika was a fucking sociopath. They violently pushed aside the others.
I hope you're ready.
And glaring at each other from so close that their foreheads banged together, they repeatedly slammed the upside-down cup on the table. That's a very anime visual I'm getting right there.
Yep.
The sound of their foreheads banging together and the cup being slammed down shattered the barrier between reality and illusion.
Here we go!
What the fuck
This
is
straight
going
up
on?
fucking fight. It is magic, it is magic. Better use magic to make candies appear. Then why did you reproduce it for us? Founder of Mario Socia, Maria, the Rich of Origins!
Lady Erika, this opponent is not worth your time. This battle is not worth fighting.
Shut up, Murder Doll! Okay, how do you claim that that overturned cup was filled with candies? Just turning the cup over won't make candies come out, because you have to use magic. Beardo can use magic because she's a witch. Oh yes, magic! She used magic! How did she use magic? Did she swing a magic wand and tap the cup to make candies pour out? No, that can't be it, right? Beardo is a witch, so she uses magic. Magic happens when you say an incantation and cause a miracle. You can't use the magic that makes candy unless you say the incantation. Oh, sure, understand. Good, very good. Let's see this incantation. Let's see this magic. Come on. What kind of incantation would a witch use? What kind? Come. Try and picture it. The inside of the cup is filled with candies. Try and picture such a wonder. Whoops. Ooh, and then what?
1 point.
It's okay, 1 point. Look, the inside of the cup is filled with candy. I thought she was being sarcastic.
Maria grasped the overturned cup so tightly that it nearly cracked, and slowly lifted it up. Then from the inside, several cute candies poured out. Maria looked at Erika with a full smile as if to say that showed you.
Good. And this is what you'd like to call Beatrice's magic, is it? Delano! Beat her to
What the
death!
fuck is that face? Jesus Christ.
Beat her to death. That's what she said.
As you wish.
Oh no, please. I won't let anyone deny Beatrice's magic, because magic is magic. Magic is impossible. You might be telling a lie about something that never happened.
Repetition demanded. Failure to respond will be a violation of Nox's 7th.
Damn. I'll respond. This is the truth. This is a story of something that really happened. This wouldn't have anything to do with a trick in the actual cup or table, making this just a sleight of hand, right? That would be against the rules, wouldn't it?
What fucking rule is that against?
It's a great question. There it is.
Hidden devices and tricks.
She's using Nox's fucking decalogue
How
to
is-
beat down a 9-year-old girl!
Not even that. How is sleight of hand a hidden device or trick?
I don't know. It's a great question. Let's see. Oh no, she's... Hold on, let's get back. How do we do this?
Scroll up.
A trick in the actual cup or table.
I guess, right.
She's talking about like hidden devices in the table.
Okay,
The machine
that's
or something.
fair.
Actually, I don't think you actually said that.
Hidden devices and tricks are in violation of Nox's 3rd. However, if and only if foreshadowing has been presented, these are permitted by Nox's 8th.
There you go.
Nox's 3rd prohibits hidden doors and devices that have no clues pointing towards them. However, by presenting foreshadowing and clues that point towards the existence of said devices, Nox's 8th allows them to be used. So that's why none of them have the unless foreshadowing note, because they're kind of just bundling that under the 8th.
Yep, pretty much. There were no tricks like that. It was just an ordinary table, an ordinary cup. So it was magic, not sleight of hand.
How does this even resolve? What is...
I don't know. How does this resolve? Let's find
So
out.
fucking confused.
Understood. By Nox's 9th, we acknowledge that Lady Maria witnessed magic.
That's right. With the 9th at least, observers are always allowed to speak their personal opinions. Otherwise, mysteries where the culprit is seen dressed up as a woman and it's written, "I saw a woman," would all be disqualified. Sure, that's fine. Claim that you saw magic all you want. All truths are nothing more than claims. So I'll make a different claim and see straight through yours to the truth. That's the detective's duty, and where we shine the most! There's nothing to see through. This is magic. Since it is magic, only witches can use it, right? That's right. Only witches can use it. So, if a human like me could use it too, that would mean it isn't magic, right? You can't use it. Only Beardo can use magic. Good! Then why did I show you? I'll make candy appear from out of this empty cup!
I want to see how they've done the close-up in new images.
Whoa!
Oh god, that is
not pleasant.
uncomfortable.
No, get it away from me.
Not
Get
that this is any better.
No. If you think you can, just try. Impossible, impossible, useless, useless. There's no way a human could do it. Then please, 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 just relax and watch. Here we have an empty cup. Is that okay? Is it? It is, isn't it? Then we turn it over on the table like this.
Thunder.
Yeah.
Let it be known that this flight has no purpose.
Thank you, Gertrude. Okay, can you say the incantation of creating candies? In fact, why don't we say it together? Come, try and picture it. The inside of the cup is filled with candy. Try and picture such a wonder. Stop! Maria-san, why did you close your eyes when you said the incantation? Why not witness the miracle of magic? Humans are polluted by the anti-magic toxin. If a lowly human saw it, the miracle of magic would be wiped out of existence. That's why the rules say that lowly humans have to close their eyes when using magic. I see. Okay. I understand the protocol for humans to follow when magic's being used. In other words, not once have you ever witnessed the moment that magic happened, isn't that right? Look, it's done now. Please, try and lift up the cup, okay? After all, I've used magic to make candies appear. There's no way someone who makes fun of witches could use candy magic.
It looks like they just took Maria's mouth, expanded it a bit, and that's the sprite.
Yup. Then if it actually does work, it'd be pretty amazing, huh?
After glaring at Erika with the utmost of malice, Maria slowly stretched her hand out towards the overturned cup. There's no way that Erika, someone who made fun of witches like this, could ever use magic. There's no way that there'd be candy there.
So, how's it look inside?
And there lay a single candy with a cute wrapper.
See? This is magic, right?
Erika smiled gently. A look of disbelieving shock rose to Maria's eyes, along with envy for this person who could use the same magic as Beto.
Erika, you can use magic too? See? It's magic, isn't it? What I did there. Yeah. So, in other words...
Erika smiled pleasantly. She and Maria had finally reached a deep understanding.
Of course it isn't! While you had your eyes closed, I just lifted the cup up and tossed the candy in!
Why is that in blue?
You call that magic? It's just a third-rate trick! There's my blue truth as the detective. Now as the witch of truth, here's my red truth! Your so-called candy magic is nothing more than a sleight of hand. Just a sleight of hand that the fake witch calling herself Beatrice or whatever claimed was magic. I mean, seriously, did you really get fooled by such a stupid parlor trick? Any magic related by your perspective can't be trusted at all. Everything you ever thought was magic was just a trick that you didn't get. There's no way that was magic. There's no way magic exists.
How much closer can we possibly get to her face?
Oh, there it is. She is not happy. Huh? It might have been sleight of hand when you put candy in this cup, but that doesn't prove that Beatrice's magic was also sleight of hand. Ew! Sapatara's back. However, you also can't prove that only magic could have done it. You rotten stuffed animal!
Please allow me to speak. Know that this is a meaningless battle.
You goddamn scraps of paper! Why'd you have to butt into the good part?
That is enough. Lady Maria has been shown that the cup magic could possibly be a trick that she misunderstood to be magic. Therefore, her claim that it was magic is dismissed.
However, it might really have been magic when Maria saw it. Just because it can be done with sleight of hand doesn't disprove magic.
Well done, Lady Erika. Congratulations on crushing Lady Maria's illusion of the witch.
Nice.
An illusion of the witch occurs when someone tries to force acknowledgement of magic by claiming that a thing would be impossible without it. It's how witches launch an attack. If someone's able to successfully argue back and show that it would be possible without magic, the illusion of the witch is defeated and the witch must retreat. The magic Maria claimed to have seen could have been a trick, so it was unqualified to be acknowledged as magic. However, that was only the result of this battle. It was still too early to bring the fight into the domain of denying Beatrice the witch and the magic that Maria believed in. However, battles always end instantly when your opponent surrenders. Erika had wanted to hit Maria with everything at once, defiling the witch and the magic she believed in, and crushing it without a fragment of compassion.
Just one more step and I would have been able to take a heart as innocent as the smooth sand just after a wave was pulled back and tear it to bits. What a shame. This isn't any fun anymore. Are you satisfied now? Ouch! Ow, ow, ow!
Erika grumpily punched Delano's arm that had been restraining her. However, that cold, hard, marble-like arm just made Erika's hand hurt.
Get wrecked. Diplomatic immunity! This battle is over!
Allow me to speak. Diplomatic immunity accepted. Know that this fight is childish.
Quote. That's fucking perfect. This fight is childish. Did you say something?
She did not. Let us withdraw. Lady Maria is no enemy of yours, Lady Erika. There is no need to pay any attention to a small fry such as this.
You're right. How childish of me, tearing a kid's dreams apart. I'm really sorry, okay? I apologize for my momentary lack of elegance.
Momentary?
Oh. Let's go.
Erika and the others turned their backs on Maria, who was still crouching down limply. However, as detectives in famous mysteries have always done in the past, Erika clapped her hands, stopped, and turned around.
Oh, that's right. What do you think? Simply by the existence of the overturned cup, this level of reasoning was possible for Fruto Erika. What do you think, everyone?
Erika's merciless words gouged themselves into Maria's heart once more. Jesus. Erika left, leaving an evil laugh behind her. After bowing to Maria and Sakataro, Dlanner left too. Gertrude and Cornelia followed suit. After that, only Maria and Sakataro were left in the lonely Golden Land.
Welcome back, Sakataro. We missed you.
We've missed you.
Have we? Have you missed
No,
him?
not really.
You.
Why is he not speaking in the weird quotes this time?
I don't know. Beardo is a witch. You. Beardo is a witch. It was magic. It was magic. It was magic. Beardo used magic to give you candy. You don't need to doubt that. You. Please believe in Beardo. You know that magic can't bear fruit unless you believe.
Surrounded by an ice-cold drizzle that had started falling at some point, Maria cried quietly. Trying to at least protect her from the rain, Sakataro used his large sleeves to cover Maria's head, and stayed there by her side. Okay, let's go, Maria. Now let's play cards together in the room upstairs.
Erika-san, as an adult, I can't say I was very impressed by that conversation just now. My apologies. I'm still just a kid after all. That's eyelashes.
I mean, really the number one defense when bullying someone else to tears is just to say you're a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, really, there
Look,
should be no consequences for your actions.
kids aren't capable of cruelty.
It's true.
If there's anything that Ryukushi's novels have taught me, is that anyone under, let's say, 20 years of age cannot commit murder or insane acts of cruelty to anyone.
I think that's definitely true.
That's definitely true. You should read Higurashi. Holy shit.
I don't even think I need to read Higurashi.
You should. It's good stuff.
After seeing that wonderful candy magic brutally insulted by Erika, Maria had been crying non-stop. Started noticing as soon as the after-dinner quiz party, but your personality really is screwed up.
Thank you, Batlo.
You think this is fun? You like tearing a little kid's dreams apart?
Please stop, Battler-sama. Please, for my sake, don't push any further here. Please.
Shannon, who had been looking flustered, bowed her head deeply and implored Battler to stop. George, who didn't want Shannon pressured, fell in line.
Let's go. Let's spend this year in the cousin room again. We can watch TV and play cards.
I've heard that Erika-san has her own room.
Good.
Shannon, please guide her there.
Oh, no need to bother yet. I'll relax down here for a little while longer. I want to savor it a bit.
The hell are you trying to save? Huh? Battler and the others could no longer hide their irritation. They had no obligation to entertain their uninvited guest any further than this. Erika herself understood perfectly well that no place would welcome a detective. Battler and the others wanted to leave, and Erika wanted to stay. Neither had any desire to stop the other. Jessica urged Maria, who was still crying, to come along. Then Maria stopped and spun around.
Got a problem? They do exist here and there. Humans who are particularly lumps of the toxin and don't believe in magic. There were lots of boys like you in my class. They don't believe in witches or magic or miracles or happiness. You can't become a witch if you let the toxic people like that burn you to ashes. I may not look it, but I'm Beatrice's disciple. I'm the apprentice witch of origins.
Maria, who'd been crying quietly a second ago, seemed to have been transformed into an entirely different person. She laughed, no, cackled eerily. Paolo's group stiffened up at this sudden change, but Erika's watching calmly. Then she smiled and gave a small nod in response.
Good. You've got some guts. Good night, Miss Maria. Let's fight in a more challenging game next time. Sure, let's. It's a promise.
You stop that too, Maria. Come on, let's go.
What about you, Shannon-chan? Come with us if you want, to play cards.
Come on, join us for at least one round. Cheer you up.
Then just for a bit.
Shannon couldn't remain in this suffocating lounge any longer either. In part apologetic and in part trying to escape, she followed after Battler's group. After that, Erika was the only one left in the lounge. Still wearing a thin smile, she tapped the glass with her finger. There was a light chink. Surprisingly boring sound. Even so, Erika wore a thin smile as though pleased.
Oh, sorry to keep you waiting. I hope I didn't miss anything awkward. I was just in the bath. Oh, where is everyone?
Knowing Kumasawa, she was totally just in there like, I'm not doing this. I'm not separating this
I don't want
fight.
to do this. Just we're like listening on the door like, I don't want to go in there.
Yeah.
You just missed them. They went up to the second floor. I'm the one who called you here. I've heard that you know a lot about the story of Akujikishima and the tale of the Witch of the Forest. Yes, well, it is a trivial story, but I don't mind in the slightest if it's trivial. Would you like a drink to follow your bath? Even I like to be helpful every now and then.
Erika stood up, opened the refrigerator behind the counter, and put ice into the pail.
Such a polite young lady.
Oh, what a charm. It is an appropriately grey and miserable day outside.
Yay.